we are ranking every single evolution in Clash Royale. This video doesn't even need an intro, let's get straight into it. Starting off with the worst evolution in Clash Royale, number 35. The Goblin Drill. The Goblin Drill evolution really is by far the worst evolution in Clash Royale. It is by far the least used evolution. It's the only one that the regular version of the card might actually be better. When you're using the Goblin Drill, you're wanting to get chip damage on the tower. You're wanting to get those Magic Archer lineups, those Executioner lineups, those Firecracker lineups. Or you're just going to straight up Evo Snowball everything off from the front of the tower and the Drill's going to get a bunch of damage anyway. The Drill going around the tower does not help you out in many situations. So it's pretty much by far the worst evolution in my opinion. And number 34 is the Wizard evolution. The Wizard evolution has fallen off a cliff. If you would have told me a couple of years ago that the Wizard evolution would be the second worst evolution in the game, I would have called you crazy. But that's the point that we're at. The Wizard shield just is so weak. It gets taken out by basically everything. So there's not really a point of having it. That doesn't even mention that the regular Wizard is terrible. Not only do you have to cycle the regular Wizard multiple times throughout the game, and just completely waste 5 elixir, you just don't have that strong of an evolution. And number 33 is the Firecracker. If you would have told me that the Firecracker would be the third worst evolution in Clash Royale just 2 weeks ago, I would have called you insane. But that nerf that she got in this last update completely nuked her. She's not near as cheesy. You can't get the kind of damage you were before. I mean, heck, she used to have an 8 to 12% usage rate at the top of the game. Now she's sitting at like 1. I know the Furnace is kind of running rampant right now, but at the same time, the Firecracker still wouldn't normally have a bunch of usage in Hog EQ and decks like that. And number 32 is the Dark Goblin evolution. The Dark Goblin evolution was absolutely everywhere. Just a couple of weeks ago, just like the Firecracker. I would say that the Dark Goblin evolution was even crazier than the Firecracker evolution, but it got nerfed so freaking hard in the last update. Its cloud going from 4 seconds to 1 second is huge. Any kind of swarm, any normal kind of push that it was normally taking out in those kind of speedy bait decks, it just can't do it anymore. That was a huge nerf and basically killed an entire archetype. The archetype was annoying as hell, so I don't care, but yeah. It killed. At number 31, we got the Hunter evolution. The Hunter evolution is in a weird spot right now because the Furnace is being used in Royal Giant decks, which is just not normal. Normally, you almost always see Hunter in Royal Giant in like a very, very occasional Balloon deck. But right now, the Furnace is being used in those Royal Giant decks, so he's just non-existent. There are still a couple of top ladder players playing RG with Hunter, but once you get under like the top 1K, I don't know if I saw a single Hunter the entire time. It was almost always the Furnace. On to number 30 with the Bomber. The Bomber evolution is just not what it used to be. The Bomber has an almost identical story to basically every single one of these first evolutions on this list. It used to be the best evolution in the game, then it just got nuked to hell. It's still decent in a couple of decks like E-Giants, E-Golem. You can use the evolution Bomber in a lot of those decks, it's just usually not the preferred card. So, I mean, can I really put it that much higher on this list at that point? On to number 29, we have the Witch. The Witch, once again, was one of the best evolutions in the game just a month or two ago, but now it's just terrible. It can no longer just heal automatically, which, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily fair, but the Witch itself isn't a great card, so it kind of needed a strong evolution. Maybe I'm just a petty Witch player, so take it as you will. Number 28 is the Barbarians. The Barbarians is one of those cards that I just have never liked. The evolution is really boring. It's just a raged up version of the card. Is it really that exciting? Do you really get excited to play Barbarians? They're a decent card. They're like mid, but yeah. And number 27 is the Electro Dragon. I hate the Electro Dragon. It's super annoying, but then again, it's only really good against certain decks. Just a straight rock, paper, scissors card. And number 26 is the Musketeer evolution. The Musketeer evolution will randomly be very good for about a week and then just completely fall off a cliff. Right now, Loon Cycle is really popular, so it's getting played a little bit more, but I wouldn't say that that's going to happen for long. Then again, it usually doesn't even have a meta deck, so I'm not going to put it any higher than this. And number 25 is the Bats evolution. The Bats evolution has kind of fallen off a little bit. It's one of those evolutions that will randomly find a really popular deck and then stick in it and then just fall off like they are right now. Usually you'll see the Bats in Mortar Bait, which was super popular last month, but I mean, it's at like a 2% use rate right now. And number 24 is the Goblin Barrel evolution. I like the Goblin Barrel evolution. I think it's really cool. Then again, I wouldn't say it's that great, especially if you aren't playing like a pro level player. It's pretty freaking obvious to tell where they're throwing the Goblin Barrel. The Goblin Barrel evolution's pretty good, just nothing special. And number 23 is the Battle Ram. The Battle Ram just like 3 months ago, I would have had much lower on the list for basically like the year and a half prior. But I would say over the last couple of months, it's actually grown decently well in the meta. It's at like a 4 or 5% use rate over the last couple of months, and it's consistently held that. I've been seeing it in a lot of Three Musketeer decks and a lot of those Queen Bridge Spam decks. It has a couple pretty good and pretty important decks in the meta, but I'd say it's pretty middle of the road, which is good for the Battle Ram. And number 22 is the Executioner evolution. I love the Executioner evolution. It's actually one of my favorites to play with. I like playing it in a lot of graveyard decks. It's very good at killing tanks. It's very good at taking out swarms, obviously. It just does a whole lot of stuff for you. With that all being said, it's not used a whole ton right now, so I would say it's pretty mid-tier. I don't think that's going to last for long. I think it'll find its way back into a couple decks here within the next couple of months, but I'm going to have to put it in the middle of the pack right now. And number 21 is the Tesla evolution. The hidden Tesla evolution is weird because it is very, very good defensively sometimes, but then again, I couldn't tell you the last time I saw that card when it wasn't being played in Expo. The Cannon evolution is just drastically better than the Tesla evolution when you want a defensive card, so you're almost always going to be using that. So like, can I really put it any higher? And number 20 is the Mortar evolution. Mortar bait was played a ton last season, but it is completely gone from the meta this season. The Mortar evolution is at a 2% use rate right now, which normally would mean that I would put it lower on this list, but I would say if it's literally 2 weeks from being one of the most popular decks in the game, I can't really drop it any lower than like middle of the pack until it proves that it's not going to come back. And number 19 is the Skeletons evolution. I love the Skeletons evolution. It's one of the most versatile evolutions. It is literally one of my favorite evolutions to use, but for some reason, every single one of you guys seem to hate this card. It's just kind of crazy though, because I had them at 8 in my last rank, and you guys had a freaking field day with it. You guys are like, oh my god, the Skeletons are at max 25. Like, no the hell they aren't. Like, stop it. I would say they have fallen quite a bit here recently. I mean, their usage rates have went from like 13% to like 4. But with that being said, they're still a very good card for 1 elixir. I don't know what else you're expecting them to do. And number 18 is the Ice Spirit evolution. The Ice Spirit evolution is an evolution that was very, very good here recently. It was like at a 20-something% use rate there for a bit, but it's fallen very, very far. I see the regular version of the Ice Spirit a lot more nowadays, especially over the last couple of weeks here, especially with those freaking Furnace decks. They're using the Evolution Furnace in place of the Evolution Ice Spirit and many of those like cycle decks that you normally see. With that being said, I don't see it staying down here for very long. I see after this Evolution Furnace gets nerfed again, it's going to completely rise back up. It's going to be in all the cycle decks again, and it's going to prosper like it did last month. And number 17 is the Royal Recruits. The Evo Recruits are so annoying. I literally, like, I can't stand playing against the Evo Recruits. Nothing pisses me off more than like an idiot playing the Evo Recruits. It drives me crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I see someone playing with the Royal Recruits, especially those charging, they pisses me off. If you play the Evo Recruits, not good. At number 16, we have the Goblin Cage. The Evo Goblin Cage has kind of risen up here recently. It was seen as pretty crappy for like a year or so there, but over the last couple of months, it has found its way into a couple of meta decks more and more. I've seen it in Graveyard, I've seen it in Royal Recruits. I just see it a lot more often. I see it in Lava Hound sometimes too. It just completely wipes tanks off the map, which is super important when Goblin Giant P.E.K.K.A is absolutely everywhere for 10 months straight. It's an overall very good evolution. At number 15 is the Mega Knight evolution. The Mega Knight evolution is completely overrated by mid-ladder, but very underrated by better players in the game. It is kind of weird how once you get a little bit better at the game, you start actually underrating the Mega Knight. I think that we all need to stop and admit that the evolution Mega Knight is actually a pretty decent card. Evo Mega Knight and Mega Knight Bait is super strong. Like, it is very, very, very good defensively. I think that upper level players just get so mad at lower level players for complaining about how strong the Mega Knight is and how it needs to be nerfed and all this crap that I don't think they'll ever admit that it's actually a decent card. And number 14 is the Archer's evolution. The Archer's evolution is another one of those evolutions that oddly seems to be overlooked. I don't know why it's so overlooked sometimes, but those things get a crap ton of damage off in a very short amount of time. I think they're very, very good. I mean, I don't think they're top tier, but they're definitely a very above average kind of evolution. I saw a couple of lists that put the Evo Archers at like the bottom 5, which is just stupid and ridiculous. So no, we're gonna put them at 14. At number 13, we have the Wall Breakers evolution. The Wall Breakers evolution is a pretty good evolution. I don't think it's near as good as many of you guys say it is. Some of you guys genuinely think that the Wall Breakers evolution is top 3 in the game, which is just stupid. In those kind of speedy bait metas, I wouldn't be surprised to see it higher on the list, but I mean, come on. It is not a top 3 evolution in the game. It's a very good evolution, not top 3. And number 12 is a Snowball evolution. The Snowball evolution is super annoying in some metas. You just drop a drill down in front of the tower, drop an Evo Snowball, automatic 1,000+ damage. There's no way of defending that for less than 1,000 damage unless you have like arrows or something like that to spell everything away. Super annoying and super strong. And number 11 is the Skeleton Barrel. The Evo Skeleton Barrel has fallen a little bit over the past week when the Evo Furnace was announced, because the Evo Furnace absolutely wrecks the Evo Skeleton Barrel. But then again, the Evo Skeleton Barrel is still very, very, very strong, and I see it becoming one of the better evolutions again next month. So I'm not going to drop it much lower than like this 10 to 12 range, because I think that's where it actually deserves to be long term. Here we go, starting out the top 10 at number 10 with the Evo Inferno Dragon. The Evo Inferno Dragon is super, super scary. It is like the scariest troop in the entire game. If that thing's charged up, I mean, you're screwed. It's gonna kill all of your tanks, all your support troops. Like, I mean, obviously it's gonna roast your tower if it gets anywhere near there. Super strong, super scary. The Evo Inferno Dragon also brought the freeze spell back into the meta, which is very good for us OG Graveyard Freeze players. Super scary card. Very good. At number 9 is the P.E.K.K.A. evolution. I think we all know that Goblin Giant P.E.K.K.A. is super annoying. Everyone wants it to be gone. That deck is starting to evolve. It isn't just plain Goblin Machine anymore. There's now multiple variants of that deck. I cannot wait until I never see that deck again. It is so brain dead. So brain dead. At number 8 is the Royal Giant. The Evo Royal Giant with the Evo Furnace is super strong. I am filming this like 4 days after the update came out, so the Evo Furnace is still very strong at this point. I don't know if they're going to nerf it by the time this video comes out, but at the same time, that thing is stupid strong with the Evo freaking Royal Giant. Very good time to be a Royal Giant player. That's all I gotta say. At number 7 is the Evo Lumberjack. I've been seeing a lot of the Evo Lumberjack in Lumberloon, which I'm very sure that everyone is excited to see that come back into the meta. I see it a lot with Goblin Giant decks nowadays. There are some people that are using the Evo Lumberjack in place of the Evo P.E.K.K.A. in Goblin Giant decks. My favorite place to use the Evo Lumberjack is in Lava Clone decks. I freaking love Lava Clone. The Evo Lumberjack just seems to rise up this list basically every time I make it, which is really strange because I don't think it's been buffed. At number 6, we got the Cannon evolution. The Cannon evolution, even though it's been nerfed like 37 times, it is still by far the best building evolution, and it's just a great cycle card. It is by far the best building in the game. The amount of damage that it does is kind of ridiculous. The bombs seem to just hit everything. Like, you don't even have to aim it. Just a very, very good card. At number 5, we got the Goblin Giant. The Goblin Giant, just like I've talked about it in previous evolutions here, super strong, super annoying. Wish it was deleted from the game. I don't care if you use it with P.E.K.K.A. I don't care if you use it with the Lumberjack. I don't care. Stop using the card. Please stop using the Evo Goblin. At number 4, we got the Evo Valkyrie. The Evo Valkyrie has always been a very good evolution. It's one of the best defensive cards in the game. It seems to be getting more and more respect every single month. It's really weird. It is one of the most used cards in the game right now, which is kind of crazy to think about. I love the Valkyrie, but you know, that's probably because I use it, so yeah. At number 3 is the Evo Knight. The Evo Knight has been one of the top 5 evolutions basically since evolutions came out. It has been one of the best evolutions, hasn't fallen out of this tier. It's kind of crazy with how well the Evo Valkyrie is doing, how well the Evo Knight is also still doing. You would think that the Valkyrie would be taking usage from the Knight, but that's just not the case. It's just a super, super, super good mini tank. At number 2, we got the Evo Zap. The Evo Zap is just super strong. It just takes out so many troops, even though it's just a 2 elixir spell. The regular version of the card is really good. The evolution's really good. Obviously, it stuns. It takes out medium health troops. Just a great card. And the best evolution in Clash Royale right now, by far and away, everybody knows, it is the Furnace. The Furnace evolution is stupid. They nerfed the regular version of the card, but the evolution is still one of the strongest cards that I think I've ever seen. Ever. I don't think it's quite the strongest card of all time, but it's definitely in that top 5. It is stupid strong, and I'm praying it gets nerfed by the time this video comes out.